Okay, so now I've got the Indianapolis Colts draft reaction. I'll give my thoughts on each pick and then give them an overall grade at the end. So the first pick they took in the draft was Kwity Paye in the first round. I liked it. I really like Kwity Paye. I think he was the best pass rusher overall in the draft. He's just a really polished player who has a lot of good physical traits. He's an amazing athlete and he just plays with really good technique also. Like, he's not really that raw of a player. I think he can give you day one impact straight away. I would have considered tackle at this point also with Tevin Jenkins there and other tackles like Samuel Cosme. But I don't think it's a horrible situation like getting Kwity Paye. I love Kwity Paye. So I like the first pick. The second pick I do not like as much. Deo Odenigbo. I think this was a reach. He just wasn't that, like, he was good at Vanderbilt, but he wasn't impressive. Like, I don't know why everybody was so high on him. He wasn't that amazing. And they went for edge rush in the first round. I didn't think you should have gone at pick 22 also getting another edge rusher. There was amazing players on the board. Like, you could have got yourself your tackle here, but then you go for Deo Odenigbo, who just isn't a second round talent. I don't know why some people like him that much. I just don't think he's that good of a player. I think there was even better pass rushers on the board and even better corners that you could have took to actually improve your team. Receivers also, there was good players like Terrace Marshall and a bunch of first round talented players. So getting Deo Odenigbo, I didn't like it. Their third pick, Kyle Granson, he'll be a replacement for Trey Burton because he kind of fits that H-pack kind of role. Cause he's not a massive tight end, like he won't be an amazing blocker, but he's actually a pretty good athlete. I don't know, it's a bit rich for Kylan Granson. Like, I think Brevin Jordan is a better tight end. There's better tight ends if you really want to go for that position. And in a weak tight end class, also fourth round, still good players on the board. You could have even got a tackle here. Maybe there's still some good players. Like, there was a lot of players in the fourth round, but I don't hate the pick. Maybe a bit later I would have taken Kylan Granson, but overall he's a pretty decent player and I think he will stretch your field and is pretty good after the catch. And then they went for Sean Davis in the fifth round. I thought this was a bit of a reach for Sean Davis. I didn't think he was this high. He kind of got a bit exposed at the Senior Bowl. And safety, I mean, you could use a safety opposite of Julian Blackman, who's kind of a one of your best draft picks yet last year. Kind of was like a steal in that draft class. He's just not an amazing player. Sean Davis is another kind of undersized safety. You've already got a small safety kind of in Julian Blackman. Don't love Sean Davis as a prospect. The fifth round, it's not horrible. I thought he would maybe go sixth, seventh. And then this pick, I just didn't like. Sam Ellinger in the sixth round. Blech. Why do you take Sam Ellinger? You've got Carson Wentz and you've got I guess you could use a third quarterback, but you're taking a third quarterback in the sixth round where there's free agent veterans that you could have taken. I think that could have actually helped your team. You've also got that player you drafted last year, for Jacob Eason. And he is a pretty good prospect coming out of Washington. Like, I feel like he could be a starter for them if Carson Wentz doesn't work out. But then you pick Sam Ellinger. I don't know what they have planned for him in the sixth round. I didn't really like it. It was just a bit strange. I don't know why they would do it. Very surprising. And then they went for Mike Strahan. Yeah, he didn't play against amazing competition. He was in Charleston, West Virginia. Like, what? But he's a good vertical threat. I mean, he's not an amazing player. It's kind of like seventh round, I guess, isn't horrible value. I think there was better receivers like Tamorian Terry and Cade Johnson that could have helped your team. The receiver position is still a bit like thin in a way. I think they got some talented players, but Mike Strahan, I'm not sure if he was the best player available. But he does have high upside, but he's just very raw at the position. And then they went for Will Fraz, depth O-line. He's not going to be our starting tackle. I mean, just not. He's just a versatile player who can play guard and tackle, maybe even center. And he will just be a good depth player, I think. And if stuff happens, he can step in, maybe be a good backup. That's kind of all he'll be. That's kind of his upside. Just a good backup in the league. Okay. Yeah, so that was it was kind of an underwhelming draft for the Colts when I think they could have got better, kind of make that jump to become a good playoff contender and team in the playoffs. Like, I think they can definitely make the playoffs. It kind of just depends on that offense pretty much because that defense is good and they addressed it a lot in this draft. But the if the O line's fine and the receivers stay healthy and Carson Wentz can actually be anything good like he was before that last year for the Eagles. I mean, I didn't even think Carson Wentz was that good before. I thought he was a bit overrated, but that's kind of just me. The Colts, I think overall, I liked Kwity Paye. Didn't like Deo Denigbo in second. Kylan Granson didn't hate it. He'd be a good replacement for Trey Burton, cheaper player also. Sean Davis gets you another safety. I don't know if he has that much upside to be a starter in the league, but maybe they can find another player like they did in Julian Blackmon. Sam Ellinger didn't like it. Did they trade up for him also? Is that what that says? No, it's compensatory from the Saints. Mike Strahan, high upside. I don't mind it. And then Will Fry's just depth player. Nothing special. So I think overall, it's a bit underwhelming. I'll give them a B minus. Yeah, I'll just do it. They addressed a lot of needs. Just I don't think the players they got for some of the needs were that amazing. I think they could have done better, but I do love the Kwity Paye pick, and I think he will help that pass rush a lot. The rest didn't love it too much. I liked some picks, but I think like B minus is probably a good pick for them. Overall grade. I mean, so yeah, B minus for the Colts. Decent draft. That's not that decent. I mean, I didn't love it. So that was the Colts. And next up, I'll have the Jacksonville Jaguars. So stay tuned for that. It will be interesting because actually a good draft, pretty much. That's it. So see ya.